Hello friends, happy Halloween. Today it's time for my bug vlog, apparently. I've accumulated a couple books on my shelves that have to do with bugs. They were kind of originally meant for other videos, or they were just things that kind of caught my eye, I heard people talking about. And now I don't really want to read any of them because I don't think that I like a bug book, but there are more bug books coming out. And so I was persuaded to turn this into a bug reading vlog. There's one coming out called The Works of Vermin, I think it's called, by Heron Ennis. They wrote one of my favorite books from a couple years ago, Leech, which is buggy. And then I think there's another one coming out. I can't really remember. But the most important thing right now is I need to go get a Halloween costume because Rob and I, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, tonight we're having a competition. We're playing code names. We play this occasionally with my channel members, and I'm the red team always and Rob's the blue team always, and we're gonna do our rematch on Halloween. So we wanna go find costumes. I need a red costume, he needs a blue costume. I don't know if they're gonna be a couple's costume or we're just gonna find things independently, but we have to go Halloween shopping. And then throughout the month, I'm gonna pick up these bug books occasionally, but let's go. Okay, here are our initial costume ideas. Sonic, what's the red one's name?
Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Elmo, Cookie Monster.
Right.
That's my vote, by the way.
Maybe a couple M&Ms.
Walmart and Target is what you said.
Walmart and Target. We're just gonna have to see what they have. I hope there's a couple costume. You know you're wearing both of our colors?
Yeah.
You're already representing. I feel like this is a pretty ideal place for a Spirit Halloween to pop up.
Yeah, it's a decent size.
And it's also like a fun store, you know?
Better than the creepy ones downtown that they've been.
Yeah, the ones downtown are scary.
We terrify her in the Santa outfit.
Okay, and what villain will you be? Mr. Fantastic.
We have Charizard game.
That's Rob's best idea. Oh, you could be Snorlax.
Sonic.
But they don't have anything matching them.
Could be
You could be Stitch.
That was one of my ideas.
Here's an option if only it was red.
That should be you.
We could both be red and blue, I guess. We could both be green, and then we have the masks. We've got a scary bunny,
Chrome spot mask.
These are all very unsettling. I don't like that one. This one has a moving mouth. I got the perfect costume. I'm always looking for something that's just like a cozy thing that I can also wear as pajamas. This one is Elmo. It's so soft. I feel like Halloween costumes have really upped in quality. I guess it depends on like what brand you're getting and stuff. I think this is the literal like Sesame Street brand. So it's got Elmo's little face. Oh, and it has pockets. Rob didn't get anything because they had Super Grover that was blue, but he was like, why don't they have Cookie Monster? So I think we're just gonna try to find online because we have plenty of time. The same brand, the same quality, the same vibe, just with the Cookie Monster one. Hello, hello. Today I am reading But Not Too Bold by Hache Pueo. And I'm like almost halfway through. I have some things to say. The lighting is atrocious today. Rob got me flowers. There's a mummy in them. He also got me these spray painted baby's breath. So I actually quite like the purple ones. I think they're quite a vibe. I want to know what insects and bugs you are personally scared of or into. Like, what's your history with bugs? I feel like most people are scared of spiders. That's like the number one. I don't love a spider, but I did also have a pet tarantula for a time when I was a teenager, Alice. He was very fun to hold, but I would have to wash my hands or get really itchy after handling him, so I didn't handle him very often. But it was always really fascinating to have him because there was like a sponge he would sit on to like drink, and I had to feed him crickets. It was really gross. And then I guess my other life experience with bugs, my grandfather had a worm farm, and I do definitely have a memory. I feel like I only probably went into that big building that he had on his property like probably once, but I remember you could open drawers and it was just full of worms. I think am more creeped out by worms than any other bug. Oh, and also I don't know what they're actually called. I don't know if it's one of those cases where like we call it a roly-poly, but someone else calls it a potato bug. Like, but I called these June bugs. I don't know if they're actually called something different. But June beetles were so disgusting. Sometimes you just come out in the morning and there would be like a bunch of them in the driveway, or they'd be like, you'd step on them, they'd make the most disgusting sound. Anyway, what bugs are in your part of the world? Do you like them? I like a ladybug, but I feel like everyone likes a ladybug. And I mean, they're technically just as creepy as any other bug. They just look cute. I also really like a dragonfly. And butterflies, obviously. Those are cute. This one is about spiders. And in fact, we have like a main character, sapphic monster romance. Have I ever read that before? I feel like I'm seeing that for the first time. We have this spider woman. She's described very strangely. I don't think my imagination is quite getting there in this like manner. And there are different floors of this house where people work, and you wear a different color depending on the floor you work on. And our main character, Dahlia, she just got the opportunity to move up in floors and is now working directly with the spider woman. And she's trying to figure out what happened with her last like assistant or employee or whatever who used to work up there, and she thinks somebody has been stealing from her. And it's just a known thing that you're gonna die in this house, and it's just like a part of the job description. And there are tarantulas everywhere. Like you walk through the house and there's just tarantulas like walking around, and sometimes they eat them, sometimes they keep them as pets. She was just talking about how she was eating like a fried leg of a spider, but then she's like friends with another one. And we have this spider lady. Like, I don't really get how this all came to be, and I don't think I'm supposed to. And apparently it's about to turn into a romance, which I was not getting those vibes. Now it's making more sense. I think the spider lady just needs someone to like understand her and care about her. But is she a good person or not? I don't really know. This is how far into it I am, and I feel like this was a good place to start because spiders don't really freak me out reading about them. I think I'm definitely gonna have a problem with the like centipede kind of one that's coming up, because I just read this one and it had to do with worms, and there wasn't even that much worm stuff, but I don't like the worm stuff. Actually, I think I'm okay with bugs in books. As soon as bugs start to interact with the human body, then like I'm disgusted. I don't want to read about you know, something that really freaked me out when I was a kid was earwigs. I don't want something going into my body. Nobody wants anything going into their body, coming out of your body. Like this is just so gross. But spiders are okay. But this is only 100 pages, and I'm having an interesting time so far. We'll see where it goes. I mean, it is only a 100-page book, so maybe I shouldn't have expected there would be much more for me to talk to you about, but there really isn't anything more for me to talk to you about. The way I introduced the story, that's how it continued. The good news is I liked the spider element. I liked the atmosphere of this. Definitely gothic, a lot of description. I think a lot of people might read it and say there was too much description, but it was perfect for me. Plot itself, however, yeah, I don't really care about what was actually happening. And this is not a romance. Like, I get somebody, you know, mentioning that, like, oh my God, it's a monster romance, but definitely don't go into this thinking it's a monster romance. There's something happening, but I don't think it's very romantic. And even without that expectation, it was a fine time. Definitely, I mean, it's so short. There's not a lot of world building. There's not a ton of characters and all of their dynamics because it's just short. It's just an idea. And because when I read a novella, I need something grabbing my attention. Like it could be a twist, it could be a reveal, it could be really stunning writing, it can be a connection, just like something in the plot that is fascinating. This book didn't have any elements that made me interested besides the synopsis. So I think I can't give this a 3 because I didn't even like it, but I didn't hate it. So it's a 2.5. Not the best way to kick things off. I wouldn't like disrecommend it to anybody, but it was not to my taste. I bought this for $33. Somebody help me. Rob's Halloween costume came. It's Cookie Monster. It even came with this like cookie you're supposed to wear on your wrist. I think it's so cute. I know it has nothing to do with bugs, but at least my shirt does. There's a bee on here. Usually for these videos, I like to buy something. Like I did the shark vlog. I've done the werewolf vlog. I don't even know what else. And I will buy something for the occasion. I wasn't gonna buy a shirt covered in bugs, but then I looked in my closet and I already had a bee. So I have collected some more books, and I think I'm gonna regret this because I'm not gonna read these all. Somebody said, oh my God, you have to read Brainworms. Are you joking? This is sickening. I already know I don't want to read this. But when you're clicking on a bug vlog, maybe you want me to read books where I'm screaming at how horrific they are. Someone also said she is a haunting. This is YA horror, so it's not really a priority for me, but they said that the bug stuff is gross and there's stuff growing out of her mouth. I also have Cryptid the Moon Spider, which I'm definitely going to read. The bonus room I showed you. And then someone I know is going to comment, oh my god, you did a bug vlog, you didn't read Metamorphosis. I have not indeed read Metamorphosis. This is a collection of stories. I believe Metamorphosis is actually very short. Oh, this has a B on it. Somebody said The Queen. I didn't like The Truth by Nick Cutter, which is one of the grossest horror books. And it has like parasitic stuff crawling out of body parts. But maybe The Queen will work for me because I have read another Nick Cutter that I actually liked. And then I remembered I also have A Mask of Flies in my TBR closet. I read the first chapter and I didn't continue, but this is an option. And then I know someone recommended this to me years and years ago. If it wasn't this, it was something that looks similar to this. Maybe it's called The Hive. Actually, now that I'm thinking of it. Rob is home. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, and he brought cookies home. For me?
Yeah?
This feels heavy.
I couldn't decide, so I got one of everything.
I said in a recent vlog that we weren't going to keep going here because I didn't actually love the cookies that much. Turns out Rob has been secretly going and getting cookies without me because...
Not secret.
Okay, it's
they're
not
right by my plumbing supplier. So I literally, while I'm waiting for my load to get loaded onto my vehicle, every once in a while I'll go get a cookie.
If it's not a secret and it's something you don't tell me about, what is it then?
I don't tell you every time I go for lunch.
That's true. I told you guys he's literally the cookie monster.
Hi.
Oh my god.
Okay, so my favorite
Wait, you
is
have
this
a
one.
favorite.
Kit Kat.
A Kit Kat cookie?
And it tastes like a Kit Kat. It's crazy.
Look,
It's getting discontinued though because the filling comes from the US and they can't afford tariffs.
Oh, but it has Kit Kats in it, so of course it tastes...
It's a Kit Kat mix apparently.
This is Score.
Maybe one of them's a brownie. Maybe that one has a brownie inside of it. Maybe it's a brookie. Maybe that and Kit Kat are my favorites. I don't need a bite though because I had their croissant when I was there.
They have a croissant?
Yeah.
And you didn't bring it to
A
me?
croissant with a cookie layered on top of it.
This is heavy. Let's see if there's a brownie inside. Are you insane?
Let's see. Oh, it is Nutella filling. What is that? It's like a mix of brownie and caramel. It's good.
It's so sweet. Ow.
It's good, but my lord, it's not sweet.
It also has Reese's Pieces in it.
Or maybe that's the Reese's Pieces.
But
Oh,
there's a
maybe
Kit Kat
that's
in it.
that's Score.
Maybe it's just like Halloween and they're like, let's put all the Halloween candy in everything.
There's wafer parts in it, so you'll know when you open it.
It has a Kit Kat inside. Yeah, okay, the other ones we've tried before, so I'm gonna put this away. Today is a Prody day from Liam's school, so we're heading out to find his Halloween costume. Originally he had a plan, and then he switched it, and now him and his friends are dressing like Steezoween. I think it's just a way to try to still look cool on Halloween. Like he's too cool to wear like a fun, silly costume. Kind of like how I feel like when I was a teenager and I just put on cat ears because like I could still just dress normally, but I was a cat. So I don't know, we have to go to the mall and he's gonna buy like a hat and a suit jacket, but also like really bright, colorful swim shorts or something. And then, what else are we doing today? Do you want to know all about my errands? This is just a follow me around vlog, apparently. I'm gonna go to the bookstore and buy a couple things I need for content. And then also London Drugs because I think they have one of those spinny, like lottery bingo type machines. And I want to use that for a future video. Probably my next video, actually. I probably should have planned a little more ahead. I just remember seeing it in store like a year ago. And I'm assuming they still have it. And then Liam needs to do a hockey stick. He's getting his skate sharpened. Where else do I have to go? I need to get breakfast. I'm hungry. I feel like there was something else on the list. But I also have to get him to a hockey game to watch his friends play. And then there's like a bonfire tonight we're going to. So maybe I should stop and get some drinks or something. Anyway, I'm not reading anything, but I'll take you to the bookstore with me and I'll show you what I buy, which I'm not going to read right away anyway. But I saw this cute, like, Christmassy romance bind up thing that just seemed really interesting. It's like an advent calendar, but for short romance stories. Okay, I'm home. This wasn't really a come with me vlog after all. I didn't really take you anywhere, but I did find some of the things that I was looking for. One of those is this. This isn't actually the one that I had a screenshot of, but it's the same idea. They're probably from the same person. But it's like chapters. I thought each one was an individual story, but maybe it's the same story. Open a sealed chapter every day to discover the next installment in a love story. So I'm supposed to spend 24 days reading the same story. That's very interesting. I just thought it would be cute and fun. And of course I have to do some type of Christmassy vlog, right? And then I've been seeing this one for a while, Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I've read. They have a coloring book and the art style is a little more detailed than I typically like in my coloring books. But I am going away on a girls' weekend soon, and I figured this would be a good one for some people to dabble in. Then the books I grabbed, this one is so shiny. And it's got a silver spine. Isle in the Silver Sea and Female Fantasy, Uncanny Valley Girls. These are all actually books that fit in this bingo board. So if you didn't see, oh, I also got 2026 magnet calendar for my fridge. In a recent video, I talked about how I have this bingo board and I'm trying to hit it by the end of the year, like every single spot. I don't think any of my bug books in this video will fit for them. And in order to hit everything, I think I do need to have a dedicated vlog or two. Also, here's what I'm gonna read. I'm gonna start today, The Works of Vermin. So what I thought would be fun for a next one is using an actual bingo collar where like I spin it and the ball that comes out is the space that I hit. And then I'll pick a book off of my TBR that fits the prompt. And actually all the ones that I bought today, I'm pretty sure fit into the prompts, and I'll probably read them all by the end of the year regardless. So these are all the balls. I could like paint them and put my specific prompts even on them because I don't think I'll ever actually use this as a regular bingo thing, but I could see myself using it for other videos in the future. So maybe I shouldn't paint it, but maybe I could paint over it too in the future. But then as I was checking out, I also saw this, which is these tiny little books. I think in this moment, my idea doesn't really make sense. So I might use this for something else. Like this isn't gonna go to waste, but I thought like, what if I could fit the actual books in here and then spin it? But then it can't really pop out in the bottom the way that the balls can. Does what I'm thinking make any sense? Because they have letters on it. So I could just assign each box a letter. I think this is kind of fun. Because to actually pick one, I would still just have to like reach here and grab one. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about today. And I'll talk to you when, what am I, an ASMR channel? When I start this. My friends, this vlog is in trouble. It is in deep, deep trouble. So don't look at my, don't look at my hair too closely. Maybe you'll be nice about it. I don't know. I hate my bangs. I've decided I absolutely hate my bangs. And you're all being so nice to me and telling me that you like them. And I hate them, and I made a bad decision, and now I just need to get them out of my face until they grow out, and I just feel ugly every single day. Okay, I started all of my books. Actually, no, I didn't start this one. So maybe starting this one would be the answer. I don't want to read any of these, just to be honest. That one wasn't doing anything for me. This one did start out feeling very YA, and I'm just not in the mood for a YA horror. That one, I didn't like the writing. This one, I didn't like the writing, which isn't really surprising because I didn't like the last thing from this author, and I was like, well, let me give it another go. I really did not like the start of The Queen. I don't think I like Nick Cutter writing from a female perspective. That one just wasn't doing it for me. And yeah, I'm DNFing The Works of Vermin. I know. This is what the whole vlog was hinging on in my mind. The reason I really went through with it was because this was the one of all of these books that was actively on my TBR that I was like, I have to get to this. I'm going to get to this regardless, so I might as well make a bug vlog. I got a third of the way into this, and based on some people's reviews, I feel like I should just persevere because there's a reveal or a connection or something that kind of makes the whole book make sense, that I'm unfortunately not going to get to that part, and I'm not going to get that satisfaction because I don't like it. Like, I don't care about anything that's happening in here. And the whole centipede portion of, like, this is a whole bug book, but there's this centipede thing going on, and at a third of the way in, that storyline has kind of wrapped up, and we've pivoted into something that's similar, the vibe is still there, but it's so much more about I don't even know, interpersonal stuff or warfare. I guess maybe that's what I would say. I can't tell you what this book is about, so I'm gonna read this. It's a city. It's carved into the stump of an ancient tree. In its canopy, the pampered elite warp minds with toxic perfume. In its roots, gangs of exterminators hunt diabolical pests. So we're following we're following a bunch of different perspectives, I guess. But there's two main characters from two very different sides of this city. And it's talking a lot about capitalism and servitude. It has a lot of messages. In this chaotic city, Guy has one simple goal: keep his sister out of debt. For her sake, he'll take on any job, no matter how vile. And there are all these vermin that he is taking care of. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get more than 160 pages in because I just really do not care about the plot. I care about the messages. I kind of want to know where things are connecting, but I don't actually care, and I'm going to forget about anything that just happened within the next 48 hours. I can feel it. Because the themes are so heavy and so clear, I just don't think that it's matching the whimsical vibe of the story. It's kind of like when, I can't remember what book it was, but I remember I was reading a children's book in the past year, and people were like, oh yeah, but it's just a big metaphor for something else. And I was like, that's great, but the whimsical vibe of the actual storytelling is not matching these two things in my mind in a way that I enjoy. There is very little telling in this book. It's a lot of showing. It doesn't give you an introduction to anything. It's just one that you have to be along for the ride for. And I was in Leech, and I feel like it's similar to Leech in the way of the writing itself. But not in the world building, because Leech felt intentionally confusing. This is giving a lot of answers, but not the things that I want to know about, I guess. I don't know. I just don't care. And I'm so sad I don't care. Okay. And so then I was like, let me start the Metamorphosis. The Metamorphosis, it's not even that long. So I think I'm going to finish it and tell you my final thoughts. But it's about this guy who wakes up one day and he's a bug. And he is a door-to-door salesman, and he has a lot of pressure on him. His family has really high expectations, and he just can't handle it anymore. And he wakes up a bug, and he's trying to hide that fact from his family. So he's just hanging out in his room being a bug. And again, there's a lot of clear kind of messages with this one. I'm sure, just the idea of labor and the pressures of your family. I know if I finished the Works of Vermin, I would give it probably a 3 because I'm going to appreciate things about it. I feel kind of the same with the Metamorphosis, but there's only, 20 more minutes of the audiobook, so I might as well get into that. And then I did also start Crypt of the Moon Spider that I forgot about. So maybe I will finish this one because I read the first chapter of it as well when I was reading the first chapter of everything here. And this one seemed more intriguing, although I haven't read the synopsis in a while, and I didn't realize we were on the moon. This is set in the 1920s, and we have a character, that classic situation where there's a woman who's not fully in control of her life, and because people around her think that she's crazy, they send her to an institution. But there were these descriptions of how they got there, and I was like, oh, weird. I must not just understand the language of the 20s and the types of vehicles that they're traveling. No, it was a shuttle, like a moon shuttle, like a spaceship to the moon that I was reading about. And I guess they're going to take this spider silk from the moon and put it in her brain to fix her. And that still sounds intriguing to me. So here's what I'm doing now. Gonna finish Metamorphosis. Gonna read this because it's a novella. Gonna try the bonus room because I didn't do that. And then also I still have Itch, which I couldn't find in any stores, but I do have the audiobook for. So once I read, finish the audiobook and then read physically some things, and then the audiobook of Itch I will give a try, and then maybe we'll wrap up the vlog. Using bugs as metaphor is always going to be really interesting because either, the book might be saying, hey, we're all part of this group, and you do your part and you just keep your head down and you push through and mindlessly complete your job as maybe a hive would. You're a cog in the machine and you just, you do your portion, someone else does their portion, someone else, and we're all collectively working together. Good for us. But therefore also bugs as metaphors end up saying a lot of things about the lack of control a lot of us feel in our lives and how we are just expected to put our head down and keep going and may not see the fruits of our own labor. And I think what's interesting about the Metamorphosis is maybe the direction you think it's going, it doesn't. So he is exhausted by his work and what people need from him. And when it feels as though maybe the book has characters passing the torch and now someone else is going to pick up the slack and then come to understand each other better, that's not what happens. He is still unsatisfied and people are still unsatisfied with him, and have even greater expectations on him to just do what he's always done and support the family, even while other people are now doing the same thing that he did. They still expect more from him. There's lots to think about. There's lots to talk about. I didn't particularly like the story in any way that would be more than a 3-star. It's like it didn't change my perspective on anything. Maybe if I was alive at the same time as Kafka, I could take more away. Though the most interesting takeaway is probably that even in 100 years, not much has changed as far as people and their relationship with labor. Now with Crypt of the Moon Spider, that's a blurb from Paul Tremblay, one of my favorite authors. A wicked, pulpy, hideously gorgeous phantasmagoria. Yeah, this feels like a 4. What was a bit surprising to me in here was that we're not just following Veronica. She has been sent to the Barrowfield home for treatment of the melancholy. And she thinks that her husband has taken her there for her own benefit and that he will come back for her and she'll be able to go back to having a great, beautiful life. But rather she starts to encounter other people who are going through these procedures. And there's a couple people conversing about like, what's actually happening here? Are we safe here? What are they doing to us? Do our partners back home actually want us back? Or are we just stuck here now? So what was absolutely creepy was the way the spiders were described and the webs that they were creating inside people's minds. There was wounds described. It was all it made me feel uneasy. So that was perfect. But then there was a perspective I wasn't expecting, somebody who actually works at this place. We get his story of like how he ended up there and more about him. There is actually a little teaser in the back of the next book that I just decided I didn't care to continue on with. But seeing as we're following a person in the book who is struggling and is sent away, it does have like the kind of arc that you might expect with her realizing what's actually happening and maybe who she is and what she wants. I think it was a good little sci-fi horror novella, and I don't love a lot of sci-fi horror combinations, so I'm going to take this one as a win. And now, do I want to read the bonus room or do I just want to move on to Itch? I'm itching to read Itch because the cover is beautiful and unsettling at the same time. It's the biggest eyeball I've seen in a minute. And I just realized I don't actually know what Itch is about. I'm sure I read the synopsis at one point. I think I talked about it in like one of those upcoming books I'm excited to read type videos, but at this point I've completely forgotten what the plot of that even is. Same with the bonus room. The bonus room, I mean, it sounds like somebody probably bought a house and they go into the house and they realize there's a bonus room. And when they open it up, bugs. This is such a hard decision, but I think I am going to choose Itch. Both of them are really intriguing. The bonus room is about a couple and their child who go to rent a new place, and it has a bonus room. And she starts getting bite marks, but nobody else in her family does. And then she finds something in the bonus room, and I want to find out what that is. But the rest of the story, I don't know, it's not like the most compelling thing ever. Young children in horror stories, I don't know if that's always for me. With Itch, there seems to be some layers of mystery. We have this woman who's returning to her hometown, and she's going to discover a dead body crawling with bugs. And it makes her have to confront her past and the way that she has been a victim. I think I know a couple chapters in what's going to happen with that and what we're uncovering. I still don't know a couple chapters in to hear what she's going to find in the bonus room. Like, what could she find besides bugs? Maybe it's a portal to a bug world. I don't think it's that like supernatural. It's hard because I've never heard anybody talk about this. I just bought it so randomly. I haven't heard anyone talk about Itch either because it's not even out here. But if it's so good, I want to tell you all about it because it comes out in North America in January. But the rest of the synopsis sounds really intriguing because It says that there's an age-old mystery. A masked predator stalks the forest around the town. And there's this ancient folklore, and there's a festival coming up where everybody's gonna dress up. And I just feel like that is the right vibes for Halloween. Both of them, I think, are just also big metaphors for being unhappy in life and in relationships. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep reading halfway through, check in with you, and then we'll see if I want to read a couple more chapters of this. I was live just the other day and I was talking, as we do, just yapping about all the foods that we like and don't like. I need to know what everyone's favorite soup is because I feel like my chat was really off base because I said my favorite soup was mushroom, specifically like lentil mushroom. There's a specific one I get from a specific place and everyone was like, there's something wrong with you. And maybe also because I was saying I don't like chicken noodle soup, and then we got into talking about like things that I don't like. There's a lot of things I don't like. And I was saying like, I like pretty much any vegetable though. I'll eat almost any vegetable except for squash. I really hate squash. And this is the squash season and it's disgusting. Rob walks in with a squash, a fuck ass butternut squash. What am I supposed to do with this? I'm not gonna cook this. Should I use it as a decor? I tried to force myself to like squash again a couple years ago and I was reminded how much I hate squash. This is so heavy. Somebody like, gifted it to him, that he was working at somebody's house and they were like, do you want my squash? And he can't say no to anybody. He doesn't like squash, but I don't want it to go to waste. So I guess I'm gonna make squash for dinner. Aardvark put out their teasers. I never really pay attention to the teasers that Aardvark puts out because they're a book box and every single month they have like 6 different things and they put out hints and you get to guess. And I don't like guessing. Like, I do like guessing because I love a game, but in this context, I don't really because I like to be surprised on the first of the month. And I'm doing a live show on November 1st with my channel members, just like reading sprints. And I love doing them on the first when I can because we look at book of the month together, we look at Aardvark together and everything that's been announced that day, Libro FM, ALCs. And I kind of make a plan for my reading month and I like to be surprised by things. But I couldn't help it. I had to solve the puzzle because Aardvark put out like one of those, I don't know what they're called, but they kind of look, I think this is how, I've only played Myrtle once, but I think Myrtle, this is how Myrtle works too. So I figured out all of the connections between all the things because there's hints and then you have to connect all the dots. Like the fantasy novel is about a librarian and that's book number 3 or something. And then they put out more hints and so now it's like book 3, you get closer and closer. And I don't think I know what any of them are except for one. So even though I now know all the hints and I've connected all the dots, I still don't actually know what all the books are. So that's kind of cool that I got to play the game. What else do I want to talk to you about? I skim read, is that the right word? The bonus room. I think maybe now I know what skim reading is because people will talk about skim reading and I genuinely like have never done it and I don't know what it means when people say it or when people don't accuse me of skim reading. I think there's like a random ass person who once in a while will come onto my like Instagram or TikTok who has never seen my videos before and they're like, you read 24 books this month, what do you skim read them all? I don't think anyone's genuinely earnestly accused me of skim reading who actually watches my content because like how me skim reading doesn't actually make any sense because then how would I know what I know about books? Because I say things like, oh, there were this many sex scenes in a book, or this book used this word this many times, or this book didn't contain any of this. And like, how would I know any of that if I didn't actually read the book? And so I used to think, well, maybe, I don't know, what is skim reading? Because what I did for this book, because I was so fucking bored, is I read every other page. So I just read the right page, the even numbered pages, the entire book, because I didn't want to read the entire book. I'm not going to count this as read on Goodreads because I didn't actually read it. But is that what skim reading is? Because I thought what skim reading is like, I don't know. Are you just like staring at the page and like you just see a couple words and then you turn the page? Like, I don't understand how to skim read because how do you know what words to read? Like if I sat here and I stared at this page, I would see forget, Carrie, Alex, sight, chaotic, Susan, clicked, bedbug. And then I turn the page, like what is skim reading? I feel like if I just glanced at the page, like I'm not gleaning anything from that. There must be some type of way that people are talking about skim reading that I don't fully understand. But I read every other page. And this was so incredibly dull. It's not a horror, it's not a thriller, it's a suspense. And there's this woman who is getting bug bites, but no one else in the family is, nor can really see them on her. And it's just a story of paranoia. She finds like a photo of a woman who used to live in the house and maybe she also had bed bugs and now the woman has bed bugs and she's scared of the bed bugs. And there's other people who come in and out of the house And that's pretty much it. She's a painter and there's some weird stuff with paint. But I didn't really read the whole book, so I don't know. Like, the reveal was like nothing. I thought it'd be fun to maybe spoil it for you. I don't even think it's worth that. Like, this is not a good one. But maybe if I had read every page like you're supposed to, I would be singing a different tune. What I am reading is Itch. And I quite like Itch because it's reading like a mystery novel. We have this woman, oh my God, it was also so disgusting. So a lot of books that are so disgusting are horror, but this one fits more at this point in my mind as mystery, and that's kind of fun. She came across this dead body in the woods. And the descriptions of the bugs crawling in and out of this woman's body, sickening, okay? But then also she face plants into the dead body. So now she is covered in bugs, and she also is having a similar paranoia because she doesn't think she's gotten all of the bugs out. In fact, she's like so obsessed with thinking that there's bugs crawling on her all the time that she's like bleaching her body, and she's like, oh my God, digging out her eyes, like trying to cleanse them and like ruining her own vision temporarily. And she's starting to have these obsessive rituals that are taking over her life of trying to clear her mind of these bugs. She's also dealing with a previously abusive relationship and the trauma that has come along with that, and acknowledging it as trauma. She is also moving back in with her father because she's struggling with reality, and she wants to get a job and contribute and like move on, but she can't, and she's just internally struggling with so much, and now this like obsessive bug thing. But also she wants to solve this murder because this woman has died, and apparently multiple other women have gone missing or their bodies have been found in the same forest over the past couple like decades, and there are rumors and there's folklore and all this interesting stuff. And at this point, because it's tagged as horror, I am assuming it's going to go in this creaturous direction, but it could still just be a mystery. It's hard to really know, but I'm really liking it. I don't actually know how far into the audiobook I am. Let me check. Oh my God, wait, I'm like a fifth of the way through. I thought I was way further than that. Okay, so there's a lot more still to come. I'm still just in the understanding what the story is section. Okay, that's really exciting. I like the narration. I'm liking the book. I'm very excited to continue. Quick unboxing. Oh God. Before the sun sets. This was my color combo for last year. My planner, agenda, monthly thing, and my, I don't know, somebody tells me how to pronounce this every time and I instantly forget. Just so you know, that's the brand. Don't tell me how to say it because I'll just forget again. Ugly color combo, for sure. This year I picked this up. This is like the latest version. I think this is cute, and it's purpley, and I saw this bullet journal on the website, and I think it's a similar purple, but we're about to find out, because like how easily can you tell when it's online? A moment of truth. Wait, it looks good. It looks good, not great. This is a warmer purple, this is a cooler purple, but I think the vibe is good for 2026. This is the A4 Plus Master. It's expensive. This is where I will put all of my devious plans for 2026. I can officially start planning, which feels good. This is just so mean of me, and you would understand more if you knew the context. But I am gonna just use one word to describe this book, and it's disappointing, which is rude. Because the book, like so many examples in my life, have so many good things to say. I'm sure, cathartic for people, like important messages, but the book was not interesting. It started out so strong, and it could have gone 5 other directions that I would have enjoyed more, but I'm gonna respect what the author was doing with it. Unfortunately, this story was the same plot as like literally 10 different YA thrillers that I read 10 years ago. Like, I've read this story so many times, and I didn't think that this is the direction that it would go, and it just kept going on, and I was like, that's it? That's all we're doing with this concept? The bugs were truly the only enjoyable part of this book. It was the only thing that added any intrigue, that had me feeling any type of way. Like, I feel for this main character, but it's just so exhausting, and that's the point. Her life is exhausting. She has been through trauma. Everyone is repetitively harming this girl, and she throughout the book has to confront her past, confront her demons, and stand up for herself and win the day. And that's great, but it's just so basic and it's so easy. And once you understand what's happening, which like I had a little inkling of maybe a chapter in, but I was like, there's no way it's gonna be that simple. And then you get that answer. That's like the other like 250 pages of the book is just her going, well, this sucks. I hope this person gets their comeuppance. It wasn't poorly written. It wasn't a bad read. Like I finished it easily. I didn't ever want to put it down. Maybe just because I was waiting for it to do something else. And I was sure it was going to do something else with like this costume party and these festivals and this small town and the folklore. But like, no, I can't believe that's what happened. It was just like a straightforward, oh my gosh. I was ready to recommend this to all of you. But instead I'm gonna give it, I think, a 2.5. This vlog was a flop, and I feel like I knew that going into it, which is why I just kept yapping about other things. And I just turned on the camera anytime I had a thought, and I just kept buying things and showing you them because I was in my mind already turning it into more of like a follow me around, hang out with me for a couple weeks kind of vlog. And that is what it turned out to be, because none of these books really did it for me. Crypt of the Moon Spider was definitely the most interesting, but even then my 4 stars starting to feel a little bit high. I don't think we can definitively say I like bugs in books or I don't like bugs in books. This was not the best exploration, but I think this happens every time I do these vlogs, and I just ended another one without a 5 star. I've never ended up with a 5 star in these vlogs. That's crazy. Maybe the tentacle vlog next year, and if I don't have any wins from that, then the whole creature feature thing is canceled, because they're not even exploring these concepts. They're not like the most popular books or the newest books. They're just like a random assortment of things that I happen to have on my TBR, and a lot of things on my TBR inside of vlogs, outside of vlogs flop. This month, I'm just getting ready to do my wrap up. So many stinkers, but my last vlog had a couple of 5 stars. So if you haven't watched that yet, here's the promo to do that. I will see you in another vlog very soon. Bye.